Hello, Swatantra TV viewers. I am Mahima, welcoming you to our English bulletin with latest news, updates, and analysis. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday alleged that demography in the bordering areas of West Bengal is changing because of infiltration while illegal entrants are snatching away the opportunities meant for local youths. Modi also claimed that the Trinamool Congress government in the state was giving away the rights of original OBCs to Muslims by issuing false caste certificates. He said the demography in the bordering areas of Bengal is being changed. The TMC is against giving citizenship to religiously persecuted minorities. Why are they opposing the CAA so much? Why are these people, TMC leaders, lying about the CAA? The Prime Minister alleged that the TMC has indulged in the politics of appeasement so that illegal infiltrators could settle in Bengal. He asserted that the Matuya community members would get Indian citizenship with all the respect that's due to them. The TMC does not want the Hindus and Matuas to stay in Bengal, Modi alleged while addressing his last election rally in the state in this election at Kakadweep. To appease a section of the society, the TMC government is openly attacking the constitution, which has given reservations to Dalits and backward castes. Reservations were looted in West Bengal and false OBC certificates were issued to Muslims, Modi said. He referred to 22nd May Calcutta High Court order that struck down the other backward classes, OBC, status of several classes in West Bengal granted since 2010, finding such reservations to vacancies in services and posts in the state are illegal.
हमने महिलाओं की सुरक्षा के लिए हेल्पलाइन बनाई। टीएमसी कहती है एटा एटा होते देवो ना, एटा होते देवो ना। हम देश की हर महिला को उज्ज्वला सिलेंडर दे रहे हैं। बंगाल सरकार लाखों एप्लीकेशन लटकाए हुए हैं। टीएमसी का कहना है एटा एटा होते देवो ना, एटा होते देवो ना। मोदी ने हर गरीब को मुफ्त इलाज की गारंटी दी। अब हम 70 वर्ष से अधिक उम्र के हर बुजुर्ग को बीमारी में मुफ्त इलाज देंगे। लेकिन टीएमसी बंगाल में आयुष्मान योजना नहीं लागू होने दे रही है।
The Congress on Wednesday claimed that farmers have suffered huge losses due to unpredictable import-export policies of the Modi government and asserted that under an India bloc government such policies would be decided only after consultations with farmers and their organizations. Congress General Secretary Jairam Ramesh said the Congress has given 5 guarantees to the farmers: legal guarantee for minimum support prices, loan waiver, transforming PM Fasal Bima Yojana, new import-export policy and making farmers GST-free. On import-export policy, there is a need to put restrictions on imports and encourage exports. The ban export of rice is not in favor of the farmers in Punjab and it is benefiting the farmers of Pakistan, Ramesh said in a video statement on X. The Congress has given a guarantee that the import-export policy will be decided upon only after consultations with farmers and their organizations, the Congress General Secretary said, adding imports and exports should be beneficial for farmers, not traders. In his post on X along with the video statement, Ramesh said farmers have suffered huge losses due to the unpredictable import-export policies of the Modi government. The Congress Lok Sabha polls manifesto has stated that it will formulate and implement a sound import-export policy for agricultural commodities, which will give paramount importance to protecting the interests and concerns of farmers.
कांग्रेस पार्टी ने किसानों के लिए 5 गारंटियां दी हैं। एमएसपी को कानूनी दर्जा, कर्जा माफी प्रधानमंत्री फसल बीमा योजना में भारी परिवर्तन, आयात और निर्यात को लेकर नई नीति और किसानों को जीएसटी मुक्त बनाने का। आयात और निर्यात की नीति के संबंध में मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि हमें आयात पर रोक लगाने की ज़रूरत है और निर्यात को प्रोत्साहन देने की ज़रूरत है। हम बार बार निर्यात पर प्रतिबंध लगा देते हैं, खास तौर से जो चावल पर प्रतिबंध लगाया गया है पंजाब के किसानों के हित में नहीं है और किसको फायदा पहुंच रहा है? पाकिस्तान के किसानों को। तो कांग्रेस पार्टी ने ये वादा किया है, ये गारंटी दी है कि आयात और निर्यात जो नीति तय करती है सरकार, वो किसान संगठन और किसानों के साथ बातचीत के बाद ही किया जाएगा। आयात और निर्यात व्यापारियों के लिए नहीं, किसानों के फायदे के लिए होना बहुत जरूरी है।
YSRCP General Secretary Sajjala Ramakrishna Reddy on Wednesday said the counting agents should keep a vigil during the counting of votes on 4th June. He advised them to keep an eye on the counting agents of the opposition parties too. The ruling party conducted a workshop for the party's counting agents at the party headquarters in Tadepalli on Wednesday. During the workshop, the trainers explained the do's and don'ts inside the counting center based on the guidelines issued by the Election Commission of India. Addressing the workshop, Ramakrishna Reddy asked the counting agents to remain alert during the vote counting process. He asked the agents not to let the counting agents of the opposition party divert their attention and mislead them. He reiterated that the party would return to power with a massive victory in the elections and the swearing-in ceremony of Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy will be held as scheduled on 9th June.
సో ఇదంతా కలెక్టివ్గా మనందరం కలిసి ఒక మనకు ఏదైతే టార్గెట్ ఉందో దాన్ని రీచ్ అయ్యేట్టు కంఫర్టబుల్గా బ్రహ్మాండంగా వస్తున్న దాంట్లో డౌట్ లేదు. అయితే వాళ్ళ ఆటలు సాగనివ్వకుండా ఎట్లా చేయాలనేది మనం చేసేది మన టార్గెట్ అది. మళ్ళీ అధికారంలోకి వస్తున్నాం, బ్రహ్మాండంగా వస్తున్నాం. 9న ప్రమాణ స్వీకారం ఉంటుంది, ఇందులో ఎలాంటి డౌట్ లేదు. అయితే దానికి ఏదో మనం వాళ్ళ ఆటలు సాగనించి వాళ్ళు పెట్టే జరిపే సైకలాజికల్ వాటన్నిటి మనం తట్టుకొని మనం ఏదో వెంబడి దిగకుండా ముందు ప్రియంటివ్ వాళ్ళను ఒక్క ఆట కూడా సాగనివ్వకుండా ఏం చేయాలనే ఉద్దేశంతో మోర్ అలర్ట్గా ఉంటున్నాం. అది దృష్టిలో పెట్టుకోండి చేసిన.
An otherwise silent General Post Office in Bangalore is witnessing an unprecedented rush of women hurrying to open India Post Payment Bank accounts, anticipating a monthly deposit of 8,500 rupees into their accounts if the India bloc comes to power at the centre. The elections are still in the process, but women, largely from the minority communities sporting burqas, stood in long queues to open the account. Some of them believed that opening the IPPB account would ensure that they get 8,500 rupees per month. Talking to reporters, Chief Postmaster of GPO Bangalore HM Manjesh said people have been coming to the office to open IPPB accounts in the belief that the Department of Post would credit 2,000 rupees or 8,500 rupees into their accounts. Actually, it is a rumor. Somebody has spread this rumor. The department will not pay any amount to them. However, this account can be used for any type of online transaction or even direct benefit transfer scheme, Manjesh clarified. He said that the department has already informed the customers about this. There was such a rush that more counters were opened outside the GPO building, under the open sky, he added. According to sources in the department, this rush has been witnessed for the past 3 days. It is learned that some Congress MLAs spread the rumors, believing which the women made a beeline for the GPO. Manekta Gandhi Vadra on Wednesday accused the BJP government at the center of harming small and medium businesses, including the tourism sector in Himachal Pradesh. Claiming that demonetization and goods and service tax implementation hit the tourism industry of the state, she promised to strengthen the sector with a focus on small and medium businesses if the Congress was voted to power in the Lok Sabha elections. Addressing an election rally in Kullu in Himachal Pradesh, Gandhi accused Prime Minister Narendra Modi of handing over public property of the country such as ports, airports and coal mines to his industrialists' friends. Even in Himachal today, maximum coal stores are owned by Adani, who decides the rate of apples and the fate of apple growers, the Congress General Secretary alleged. In addition, Gandhi claimed that import duty on apples coming from the US has been reduced, while local producers have to pay the GST imposed on agricultural implements and equipment. Due to this, apple growers in the state are affected by the imported apples from the US that have flooded the markets, she added. Gandhi also alleged that people are now dying due to the COVID vaccine and that the BJP had taken a Rs 52 crore donation from a manufacturer. Speaking at a public rally seeking support for Congress's candidate from Mandi parliamentary constituency Vikramaditya Singh, Gandhi said if the India bloc comes to power, poor women in the state will get 10,000 rupees every month, 8,500 rupees as promised in the Congress manifesto for the Lok Sabha polls and 1,500 rupees promised by the party's government in Himachal Pradesh. Voting for all 4 Lok Sabha seats in the state will be held in the last phase on 1st June.
यहाँ आपदा आती है, किसी को परवाह नहीं है। हमारे सारे मंत्री रात रात तक आपके बीच आकर, चाहे जहां राहत पहुंचानी हो वहां मुख्यमंत्री खुद पहुंच के पहुंचा रहे हैं। मंत्री खड़े हैं, कोई फंसा हुआ किसी जगह में, कहीं कुछ गिर गया है, उसके पीछे लोग फंसे हुए हैं, वहां पे रात तक काम कर रहे हैं कि उनको किस तरह से निकालना है। राहत का सारा काम प्रदेश सरकार कर रही है, क्योंकि एक पैसा केंद्र की सरकार नहीं दे रही है। ये आपदा की बात है। उसके बाद, आपदा के एकदम बाद, कुछ ही महीनों बाद आपकी चुनी हुई सरकार को गिराने की पूरी कोशिश होती है। कैसे? लोकतंत्र के प्रति अपराध करके। क्योंकि जब किसी विधायक को आप पैसे देकर उसका दल बदलवाते हैं तो ये लोकतंत्र के खिलाफ अपराध है। अपराध कौन करा रहा है? प्रधानमंत्री जी, अमित शाह जी, और यहां के आपके बड़े बड़े हिमाचली जो नेता हैं भाजपा के, नड्डा जी, यहां के आपके जो सांसद हैं अनुराग जी, ये सब करा रहे हैं। चोरों की तरह विधायकों को बीच रात में जीप से चंडीगढ़ ले जा रहे हैं, कोई हेलीकॉप्टर से जा रहा है, कहीं पे सारी फोर्स लगा रहे हैं कि कोई इनसे बात भी ना कर पाए, क्योंकि इनको हम चोरी करके ले जाए।
From 7% in 2009 to 9.6% in 2024, the number of female candidates contesting the Lok Sabha elections saw a steady rise in 15 years, according to an analysis by the poll rights body Association of Democratic Reforms. This year, the Bharatiya Janata Party leads among the major parties with 69 female Lok Sabha nominees out of 440, making up 16% of its total candidates. The Congress follows with 41 women out of 327 candidates, constituting 13%. Significantly, smaller parties and regional players exhibit higher proportions of female candidates. For instance, the Nam Tamilar Kachi has an equal gender representation with 20 out of 40 candidates being women, translating to 50%. The Lok Janshakti Party Ram Vilas and the Nationalist Congress Party each have 40% female candidates, with 2 out of 5 being women. Among prominent parties, the All India Anna Dravida Munnatra Kazhagam and the All India Forward Bloc have the lowest levels of female representation at 3%. Some parties with notable female representation in this year's parliamentary polls include the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha The Biju Janata Dal, each with 33%, the Rashtriya Janata Dal with 29%. The Samajwadi Party has 20% female representation, and the All India Trinamool Congress 25%. YSRCP MP S. Nirjan Reddy on Wednesday, in a letter to the AP State Chief Electoral Officer, expressed concern over the Election Commission relaxing norms as far as postal ballots are concerned. He said that the Election Commission asked the officials not reject the postal ballots bearing the returning officer's signatures but lacking a stamp. He wondered why the Election Commission relaxed the rule in Andhra Pradesh only. The Election Commission guidelines clearly stated that the Form 13, a postal ballot, must bear the unmistakable signature of a Gazette authority and be properly sealed. Expressing concerns, the YSRCP leader cautioned that the relaxation could potentially lead to disputes and compromise the secrecy of votes. He urged EC officials to reconsider their stance on the directive regarding postal ballot counting. Attaching the YSR Congress party representation in the letter, the MP highlighted the instructions, particularly those issued on 25 May regarding the collection of specimen signatures of attesting officers. These instructions seem to contradict earlier guidelines provided by the Election Commission of India. The MP stressed the importance of prompt attention to this matter by the Election Commissioner, which is crucial for maintaining the integrity of the electoral process. After Union Home Minister Amit Shah claimed that Naveen Patnaik would become a former chief minister after counting of votes on 4th June, the ruling BJD president on Tuesday said that the Saffron Party will meet the same electoral fate as in Karnataka, Telangana and Himachal Pradesh. Patnaik in a video message said that the Bharatiya Janata Party said they will form government in Karnataka, they failed. They also said the same for Telangana and failed. They said the same in Himachal Pradesh and also failed. Earlier, Shah at 3 back-to-back election rallies had claimed that Patnaik would become a former chief minister after counting of votes on 4th June, and the BJP is all set to form the government in Odisha by securing more than 75 of the 147 seats in the state. Shah also claimed that the Saffron Party candidates will win in 17 of the state's 21 Lok Sabha seats. Stating that senior BJP leaders such as chief ministers and cabinet ministers are visiting Odisha as guests, Patnaik said that they were not expected to use poor language and make false allegations. This is not appreciated by the people. Patnaik also said that he prays to Lord Jagannath that better sense prevails with BJP leaders.
If he is to form a committee, I suggest he form a committee to look into the people who are spreading such false rumors about my health.
तो ऐसा भी मोदी जी बोलने का मतलब क्या मकसद हो सकता है इस माहौल में, क्योंकि और एक ही लास्ट फेज है इलेक्शन का, बार-बार वो आ रहे हैं और ये बात क्या है?
आप सोचिए, इलेक्शन टाइम है और ये कहा है वोट्स मिलने के लिए, और क्या?
Benchmark equity indices Sensex and Nifty declined nearly 1% on Wednesday, continuing their losing streak for the 4th day running amid profit-taking by cautious investors ahead of the results of the Lok Sabha polls and weak global trends. The 30-share BSE Sensex declined 667.55 points or 0.89% to settle at 74,502.90. The index declined below the 75,000 mark to hit the day's low of 74,454.55, plunging 715.9 points or 0.95%. The BSE benchmark hit its all-time peak of 76,009.68 on 27th May. The NSE Nifty dropped 183.45 points or 0.80% to 22,704.70 amid high volatility. The 50-share barometer hit its lifetime high of 23,110.80 on Monday. From the Sensex pack, Tech Mahindra, ICICI Bank, Bajaj Finserv, HDFC Bank, Ultratech Cement, Axis Bank, Reliance Industries and Infosys were the biggest laggards. Power Grid, Sun Pharma, Nestle, ITC and Bharti Airtel were the gainers. Analysts also said that soaring global inflation is diminishing investor expectations of a US Fed rate cut in the near term. Broad-based weakness is noticed across the sectors with heavy underperformance from financials and IT. Among the indices, Bankex declined 1.37%, financial services 1.32%, oil and gas 0.95%, realty 0.88%, and services 0.60%. Healthcare, industrials, telecommunication, capital goods, metal and power were the gainers. As many as 2,136 stocks declined while 1,680 advanced and 113 remained unchanged on the BSE. The last phase of polling is scheduled for 1st June. The results of the ongoing general elections will be declared on 4th June. Foreign institutional investors bought equities worth 65.57 crore rupees on Tuesday, according to exchange data. Lifetime high levels of 97,100 rupees in the local market on Wednesday, while gold prices rose 250 rupees in line with strong trends in the overseas markets. Continuing its winning run for the third straight session, silver soared 1,150 rupees to 97,100 rupees per kg. It had closed at 95,950 rupees per kg on Tuesday. In the futures trade, silver also hit a lifetime peak of 96,493 rupees per kg on the multi-commodity exchange on Wednesday. Meanwhile, the gold prices climbed 250 rupees to 73,200 rupees per 10 grams in the national capital. In the previous session, the precious metal prices had settled at 72,950 rupees per 10 grams. In international markets, spot gold at COMEX was trading at US $2,352 per ounce, up US $6 from the previous close. Gold prices rose slightly on Wednesday as safe haven demand following another attack on a ship in the Red Sea added to heightened geopolitical tensions in the Middle East. Additionally, silver also traded higher at US $32.05 per ounce. In the previous session, it ended at US $31.50 per ounce. Spot silver prices have gained 35% this year to date, reaching 12. For a complete and comprehensive English news bulletin, please do watch Swatantra TV. This is Mahima, signing off. Keep watching Swatantra TV.